Ooh. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to If These Heels Could Talk. My name is Michelle, and I'm with Bad Cat Digital.
And I'm JoyGenea with Solutions by JoyGenea.
And today we are surprising JoyGenea with a topic. I saw something this morning that I just couldn't walk away from, and has had my brain thinking. So we are the day before Thanksgiving. This will go out after Thanksgiving, but before the holiday season for 2022 is officially over. And I want to say that as a human, my relationship with Thanksgiving has changed a lot over the years. There's been some challenges, and learning more about, doing some learning about, language and indigenous history has helped me understand a little bit more about Thanksgiving and put in context some things. Mm-hmm. But my struggles with Thanksgiving are not that. That's somebody else. Those are other people's. That's other people, and I want to learn about that, and I want to, we're in those conversations, we're educating ourselves, but that's not my expertise. Your expertise. That's not what we're. But as a human being who has I would say, complicated relationship with food and her body.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
Food-centered holidays are particularly challenging for me.
What?
And since you're also a human who has a complicated relationship with food and her body. Now, we're not diagnosing anything or saying anything here.
I use food for just my. I have in the past, most of my life, used food as self-medication.
Right.
That's not a secret. Anybody that's watched. We each have our own set of challenges around this. We've touched on this in other episodes of this podcast, but in this particular episode, what I'm discovering about myself is that I'm less likely as I get older and as I understand and really embrace the concept of boundaries, I'm less likely to really want to put up with people commenting about what I eat, what I put on my plate, what I don't put on my plate, whether or not I participate in food-based activities. And when you are at a holiday function that's specifically geared toward food, that's what Thanksgiving is. It's a meal. Yes.
And a large one at that, full of nostalgic favorites and all kinds of other things.
Yes.
Plus you add in sometimes travel, family that is maybe not always around. So you see people that you don't see maybe for 2 years at a time. And then you add in all of the other religion and politics stuff, and it's a recipe. It's a recipe for, no pun intended, for disaster. So today, what I want to talk about with that kind of context and that kind of background and understanding, I want to talk about 3 different ways that we can respond when someone violates our boundaries in these spaces.
Interesting.
One way is by being nice. Another way, I'm just laying it out and then I'll explain. Okay. Another way is with a little spice.
Okay.
And the third way is with a substantial amount of ice.
Oh, that's the nice, spice, nice. Okay.
Nice, spice, and ice. And I think this is fantastic because I get to choose based on who the other person is, based on the social situation, based on
your own mental health and well-being.
My moment, based on maybe how many times the same person has done these things. I could move from nice to spice to ice in a progressive order. Thank you to my mother-in-law. So all of these things are possible to me. So let's just say, I'm going to give examples of each of these.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do a little role play.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to put something on my plate. I'm going to put mashed potatoes and gravy on my plate, and you're going to say,
"Oh, did you get the gravy? Are you sure?"
I didn't drive all this way for salad. And Aunt Susan does such a great job. I really want to make sure I'm not rude and don't try everything that she has to offer. But thank you. Thank you. I know it's well-meaning.
No, don't add that last part. Just saying.
But thank you.
Yes. There you go.
That's a nice response.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, that was very nice.
Right? Now,
but also direct.
But also like a, you know what? Back off.
Right. Let's do a spice response. I put it on my plate, and maybe instead of that you say,
do I even say anything, or do I just give you the look?
Oh, or how about you walk up to me and say, oh my goodness, you look great. Have you lost weight?
Oh no.
Really? 3 times every time I see extended family. At least 3 times a day. So
okay. Oh, hey. Oh my gosh. Have you lost weight? You look great.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, except I don't really care whether or not I've lost weight, and it doesn't really have any bearing on, how I look.
See,
I choose to focus on other things. Let's eat.
I like the spice, but I'm left over here with what do I say in response to that? It's a little bit of a kick to the groin. I'm
it's a little, so the spice gives you permission to maybe be a little bit harsher, a little bit, maybe adds some sarcasm in there, a little bit remember, we're not doing this anymore.
Yes.
Okay. Now how about I add, how about I go back for a second piece of pie and you comment on that? What would you say? I know, right?
Thank you. Anyways.
Pie and cake.
Oh, are you going back for seconds?
Rude.
Oh, well.
Right?
I was just trying to,
and that's the ice.
And then you walk
Rude,
away.
and then you walk
then
away.
You just go get the piece
That's
of
the ice. You're just done. So you get to choose. You get to think about these things in advance, and you get to choose. Am I going to have a nice response, a polite dismissal, maybe a deflection joke? Am I going to have a spicy response, which is a little bit of a hot tamale? Like, I'm going to publicly shame you for trying to publicly shame me.
What if one of the spices is just simply being like, did you literally just ask me if I was going back for a second?
Did you actually ask me that question?
Do we want to, should we work through why you needed to do that? Because I in no way have commented about
Do you have some issues with fat phobia that you need to discuss?
Oh, see, now that to me feels spicy and
so that's what I
that'll
mean.
cause somebody to back up.
But this is what I mean. We're so afraid, and we don't think about these things in advance. And when I was a teenager, my response was to take extra mashed potatoes and rage eat in the corner.
Oh,
and to the point where I was uncomfortable with how much I ate. I wasn't choosing how much I ate. My emotions were choosing how much I ate. Yes. Right? And so there's no problem with having an extra helping of mashed potatoes, but rage eating in a corner is probably not what you want to be doing.
Any mental health professional probably that's not.
Let's maybe exercise let's maybe think about this phrase rage eating.
Let's start with the R and rage.
maybe we need to not turn literally inward with our rage.
Finish your thought though.
No. So I wanted to give people a framework it was such a great, I saw it this morning. It was such a great, powerful framework for responding to those things. Because the thing is that when you have a complicated relationship with food, or you have a healthy relationship with food that other people don't understand. So for example, for all of the vegans out there who are going to get teased all day tomorrow. Or all of the people with body dysmorphia who nobody's going to comment that they've lost weight because to other people, they don't look like, they don't have that body type. Or to all of the people that have that body type that are going to get that comment all day. Or are going to get the looks at the grocery store or whatever. This is a minefield these holidays, and we just don't talk about it enough.
Yeah. I can relate in my own, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I'm saying.
But I can relate. Well, one of the ways I can relate though is the fact that I made a choice early on. We've talked about it before around alcohol because of how it genetically seems to live within my family's DNA. I assessed and went, okay, I will say no to this just now and forever. And
this is not my thing, not my jam.
So holidays are very uncomfortable for other people. So I had to deal with this in middle school, high school, and stuff because not drinking around people makes people very uncomfortable.
Makes people feel judged.
Yeah, and so then I had to figure out nice spice or ice, really kind of, and I'm always, I guess I'm always probably a little more of a doorman on it. and allow people to say things. But I will say in the past few years, I've been like, why does this matter to you? Like that tends to be my response.
And that's part of the issue.
Do I not look like I'm having fun? Are you not having fun because I'm not drinking with you? Because that's not about me.
Right.
Like that's on you.
And that's another way to do the ice is to just say that.
Yeah.
And then walk away.
Yep. I'm like,
the point here is that you're allowed to navigate a situation the way you need to without really necessarily worrying about exigent social circumstances. You know, like there, and again, safety aside, I would say that people who are in relationships with their body that are that create, or relationships with family that create an unsafe environment for them, like people in the LGBTQ plus community,
yes,
people, you know, that where it's actively unsafe. This is a completely different conversation.
Yes.
This is not just about helping get care and learn boundaries. This is about that's completely different. What we're talking about is actually a kindness to others, because you don't go around, you don't feel entitled to comment on other people's food in public.
This is beautiful. Kind of what we talked about not that long ago about having judgments, having biases, having prejudices, and bullying.
Right.
Where, like, just because their family doesn't, by the way, if their family, sometimes it's a lot easier to go between those
because it's a lot
three.
easier for individuals to justify their poor behavior because they're thinking that they're trying to, you know, help you.
Yes.
And really, at the end of the day, they're trying to work out their own crap on you.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Is this isn't about
they're
me.
shitting all over you,
right? And it's not exactly, and it's not about me. Like this holiday season, my husband and I are going into the holiday season both on an autoimmune diet.
There you go.
So our food groups are small. We're probably going to be bringing our own foods to each event.
And that generates comments.
Oh,
right.
It does.
But really, that's between you and the host.
And that's just it. I have those conversations. I'm like, nobody needs to worry about it. And when people want to ask more, like, and get engaged in it and maybe have judgments about it, I'm like, hey, this works for you. Like this is the relationship you're having with your body and your doctor and how you're dealing with things. Like, these are the choices I'm making. Like,
right.
I'm not shaming on you. Please don't shame on me.
And I feel like the same with, people who are vegan or vegetarian,
yes.
people whose kids are on or who have strong allergies, who bring their own food to places because there's life and death scenarios happening.
Yeah.
I mean, if I make a pecan pie and then dust off my hand and don't wash my hands before I mix the mashed potatoes, somebody with a nut allergy could actually die.
Yeah.
Now, people who are used to or have, allergies in their home that are that serious, pay extra special attention, take care, mitigate circumstances. But people who don't are going to use the same chopping knife.
Oh yeah. You don't know.
You don't know, not because just because you just aren't thinking about it in that moment, because you're thinking about 1,700 other things and whether or not the gravy's going to be lumpy. You're not thinking about it.
Yeah.
In that space and time.
And this conversation, this is a great conversation in the fact that this has shifted.
Yes.
How family gets together, how how bread is broken, how food is shared, how we do that has definitely shifted. And it can cause some people some discomfort in the fact that has changed and expanded.
Well, and I think but the thing to remember, and the thing that I need to remember when I go into scenarios like this, thankfully, I just have to say, this year, I'm very excited because my husband scheduled an invasive medical procedure for the day after Thanksgiving. So we don't have to go anywhere or hang out with anybody. And he has to fast all day of Thanksgiving because he wasn't really looking at the calendar when he scheduled it.
That's one way to do it.
It's one way to do it,
boy.
And so we're, we're not going anywhere, and I'm cooking on Saturday.
Nice.
Only because I want to, not because,
Well, food is necessary at some point for all of us.
Well,
Yeah.
But other people's discomfort are not ours.
Yes.
So my, great aunt or grandmother or grandfather's discomfort about how something has shifted, about new traditions that are being established, about, so-and-so doesn't want to eat the sweet potatoes that we've always served with the marshmallows on top because they're too sweet. And maybe you shouldn't comment on it at the dinner table in front of 30 people. Other people's discomfort is not ours. Other people's safety is ours. Yes. Other people's livelihood, like other people's ability to like move in a space, that's our shared responsibility.
Yes.
But somebody's discomfort at what I put on my plate, not my thing.
Not your problem.
Not my thing.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about this framework. I think it's really, really good. If this one doesn't work for you, I would really encourage you to be thinking about it in advance because you know it's going to happen.
Yep.
When you there are certain situations that I know I gear up for every single time. I gear up to go to the grocery store every time I go. I think about, the looks that I'm going to get and the things that are going to happen every time I go to the grocery store. So it's the same thing with this. When you have boundaries here and you can set them and let them be, you can find a way to navigate the social situations that you need to navigate while maintaining your boundaries and your own peace.
Yeah.
And so I just really liked Nice Spice or Ice. I thought it was fun and rhyming for the holiday. and now I have a ready response for you look so great. Have you lost weight?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get on a scale.
Or, I'm actually focused on important things at the moment.
I know, really. It's like
so this is a short topic for If These Heels Could Talk. JoyGenea, thanks for rolling with the topic.
Thanks for bringing it. I think it's really good.
And I just wanted to give people some tools for the holidays and beyond for handling some of these situations, specifically when our relationships with our body and food have that 2005 Facebook status of it's complicated.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining us. Please join us again for next week's episode. Have a great week. Maybe.
It's frozen.
Mm-hmm.